today? I didn't hear it. Oh, right. Oh, well, of course I didn't hear it because you have to comment down there. And then what do you have to do? You have to share and reshare. Reshare what? Well, resharing this podcast, the Jenny podcast. A new one is out there. And it's going to be an interesting conversation. It's a conversation. It's a journey. And when you do a journey, what do you need? You need a driver for business innovation and growth. And I have here as my co-pilot, Monika Primozic, which is Competence and Knowledge Manager at EIT Manufacturing. Hello, co-pilot Monika.
Hello, pilot.
Very good. And I have Ignacio Colombo from Adsol Tech from Spain. Oh, on the EIT Manufacturing. What? You did that?
Yep.
You did that? Okay, give me a smile. Give me a smile. You did it. Celebration time. Celebration time on this podcast already because we have a winner. We have already winners for Jenny 2023 EIT Green Manufacturing Award. Let's ask our Ignacio here to tell me about this business story, business idea. What is this Adsol, Rebuild Adsol Tech? Tell me about it.
All right, so we're a startup based in Malaga, and we're specialized in developing a desalination device, which is almost completely solar powered, for its use in offshore green hydrogen production. Now, this is a lot of mumbo jumbo. So basically, to give you some context, there's been a huge displacement of renewable energy production to offshore locations. Basically, there's way more space available. There's way more resources available, especially when talking about wind power. But there's one issue with it, which is the production variability. It means that in certain times, there's a production excess. There's too much resource production and not enough demand. So these resources are being wasted, which is completely unsustainable. So what we do is in these periods of excess, we use that excess energy to produce hydrogen, which is basically the protagonist vector in the current decarbonization transition. And then we consume that hydrogen in periods where there's not enough production. So what we're doing is we're fighting that energy production variability to ensure a more sustainable and stable production cycle. Now, to produce that hydrogen, you need electrical.
Wait a second here. Wait a second here. Why don't you go and play football like all the other guys? And what are you doing in transforming the world with this? And you identify the problem, you see that there is a waste of energy getting there because of peak, there is no balance. We need balance. So you are exploiting that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Please go ahead.
Thank you. Yeah, I personally started at 19 with another small company. We make terrariums. And 4 years later, I came to this idea, Adsol, which is led by Juanjo Vallejo. He started it in 2019 with his professor, which is also the director of the School of Engineering of Malaga. They're complete engineers, and the rest of the team is as well. So I came into this, I saw what they had done, and I saw a way bigger project than what I was working on. But they needed somebody to administer and to communicate the idea, which is not a simple idea. Just explaining the context is a mouthful. And yeah, since then we've been going at it, developing the project, developing the idea, going to as many.
And you went on Jenny, like 40,000 people in the past month, the virtual expo. Let me repeat this. You catch it?
Yeah.
40,000 people we got on our virtual expo, over 500 mini companies and startups like yours with their stand attracted so many people across Europe. And how do we do that? We do that because we have great partners like EIT Manufacturing. And what is the concept behind the Green Manufacturing Awards at Jenny, Monika? Why and what really made Rebuild Adsol the technology stand out for you. I mean, this was one of the award was one of the most selected by the mini company startup. Everybody competed for this award. It's amazing.
Yeah, we are very proud that Green Manufacturing Award was the most popular this year. And the award actually itself recognizes teams who have developed really innovative products or services, which I heard just before, that use fewer natural resources, either to reduce pollution and waste, recycle, reuse materials, also develop new processes to reduce manufacturing resources and moderate emissions in the processes. So I have to say, that as a jury member, the decision on the best team was not an easy one, but in general, we actually looked into both potential for both innovation and sustainability. So once again, I would like to congratulate Adsol Tech from Spain. They really stood out from the rest of the teams with their idea of obtaining offshore fresh water, which is also sustainable both energetically as well as in waste generation, and also focused on production of green hydrogen. So it's really an excellent idea. We also had this award in the other category. So in the secondary category, actually Rebuild from Denmark won. And unfortunately today they are not here, but they also had this idea to build a platform for buying and selling recycling building materials, which really stood out, especially this green part. So I'm really, really proud for both teams. And once again, congratulations. Yes, it was not an easy task.
We say about journey, say about drive, but is it possible to drive a healthy business that does not affect our national resources?
Well, I think that not only is it possible, it's necessary. Nowadays, you not only need to do a business that is affordable to make and to maintain along a journey that you mentioned, but it has to be sustainable. We have to implement the environment in which the business acts as another factor to take into account. It's especially for long-term stability. We've seen that we've inherited an industry that is not stable, and short to mid-term we may gain competitiveness as an economy, as a European economy, but long-term we've seen that we need to develop new things, and those things need to be aligned with the environment that we work in. It's a necessity.
Monica, I mean, everybody says we need to have sustainable businesses, but those are financial implications. Those are sometimes a cost for the business. So how can business achieve the long-term sustainability, environmental sustainability, while also being financial sustainable? Because the detractor, they are going to say, hey, I need to look at the profit. I need to look at the dividends. I need to make my shareholders happy about it, right? So how do we combine those two things?
Yeah, it's a tricky question, and actually what I'm really glad is that in manufacturing sector, right, we see more and more actually companies paying attention to the sustainability part, but also financial sustainability at the same time. So it is a tricky area to address. And I'm very glad, that I can actually offer a really concrete example of the company that is very successful. It's one of our industrial members called Voestalpine. It's an actually Austrian steel processing and manufacturing company. So there, for example, High Performance Metal Division has 13,000 employees all around the world. And so their processes actually use natural resources. However, they're very successful, and you might ask yourself, how is possible to integrate this? So the natural resources plus financial sustainability, and they have actually developed their own sustainability performance framework that is called Inspire, and it's actually a very ambitious vision, but it integrates aspects of sustainability like economic, ecological, social, as well as the 4 pillars of in their daily operations. So climate impact, circular economy, social impact, sustainable sourcing, to ensure this long-lasting performance for both current and future generations to come. And to offer actually some concrete examples how they do this in sense of numbers. So by 2029, you can say in few years, they aim to reduce CO2 emissions in their operations by 50%, which is incredible. And by 2030, they aim to use over 90% of recycled scrap and secondary raw materials in production processes. So it's clearly, it's an ambitious goal, but obviously, they are the world's leading supplier of high performance material. They're also achievable on the long term. So they're also financially sustainable. So it is possible. And I'm really happy, that through the manufacturing sector you can see these examples coming out more and more. And I really see, also the potential in young generations to address these. And I think, big companies like voestalpine should be really, I would say an example to lead, right? How to go ahead.
What do we see next in the entrepreneurial journey of Adsol Tech? What are your next steps, Ignacio, of the entrepreneurial journey?
Well, as of today, we've came to the conclusion that as a new desalination method, we're competing with very well-established industries. So we need to really know our competitive advantages. So what we're doing is we're engaged in a reiterative process of MVP development. Then we measure the functionality of said MVPs, water purity, energy requirements, and so on. And then at the same time, we're analyzing the main hydrogen production projects in Europe, such as Poseidon or Life. We are analyzing their providers of desalination systems and applying the same measurements to their devices. And therefore, we can establish a direct comparison, not only to dream about sustainability and so on, which is necessary, but again, if it's not affordable and if we cannot go forward, we cannot have a positive impact. So on one hand, we're doing that in the developing part, and on the other hand, we're constantly competing in as many events as we can, as many championships as we can, to build a growing stakeholder network of investors, commercial partners, and so on. And by September, we want to do our first seed round to really bring the project forward, establish a pilot plan that proves the practical functionality of our international patent, and just bring the project forward.
Wow. So that's a very clear path, a very clear journey that you are going to do. Absolutely. I'm sure you're going to succeed. I see that. This Monika, I see this. That's a key to success. They have that ambition to make it unique, to make it big. Absolutely, they will. But, advancing on those things, it's like EIT Manufacturing, how to advance green manufacturing and sustainability in businesses, Monika. We saw there are changes, there are things, still a lot need to do. We do quite a lot. But thanks to EIT Manufacturing, you are really leading by example.
Yeah, I think Adsol was so the plan they have is really nice, and as you mentioned, it's ambitious. There's a motivation behind, clear pathway. So I think they're in a good way to reach the objectives that they have set. So that's why they're also the winners of this award. And I'm really, really glad to hear that their journey does not stop with this win, right? They have a plan ahead, and that's what is really important. So yes, I wish them actually all the best in their future, and I'm sure that we will still hear from Adsol in the near future. And I would say take really good examples that are already out there, not just your competitors, but everybody out there that is really sustainable and successful as an example to follow.
Share. So, Monika has shared the experience, the activities of EIT Manufacturing, their vision. Ignacio shared with us Adsol Tech, the journey so far, the ambition of the future. You need to do now. I told you. Told you at the beginning. Now it's your turn to share. Share on Spotify, share on YouTube. This is the Journey podcast. Thank you so much, EIT Manufacturing. Thank you so much, Adsol Tech.